Let's talk about personal protective equipment, or PPE. On the job site, you need to wear special personal protective equipment. There are hazards which just can't be completely eliminated, even when all the preventative measures are applied. So, PPE is your last line of defense in case all control measures fail. The equipment you wear will depend on the specific hazards you may encounter. If you don't wear the right PPE, or if it isn't properly worn, you'll be walking around essentially unprotected. And you should all know better. After all, you've heard it from your parents since you were a teenager. Wear protection. Although this protection may be a little bit more confusing, so let's have a look at some examples. Protective equipment can be divided into the following categories: head protection, eye protection, hearing protection, respiratory protection, hand and skin protection, and foot protection. Let's look at some of the options available. Personal protective equipment needs to fit properly, so make sure to select the proper size. PPE that does not fit properly can make the difference between being safely covered or dangerously exposed. It may not provide the level of protection desired, and it may discourage use. So, let's start with head protection. Most job sites require that hard hats be worn at all times while on the job site. The shells of most hard hats now are almost all made of high-density polyethylene or fiberglass resin. They have an adjustable headband with a webbing inside. It's also known as a suspension system. It provides a space between the shell and your head, so don't mess with this by modifying it in any way. Other than you are allowed to reverse it if you want to wear the hard hat backwards. Now, these suspension systems are available as replacement parts if you find one that is damaged or has an excessive wear. Eye protection. Eye protection is one of the most important safety concerns on the job site. Now, there's many types of eye protection available depending on the activity that you're doing. Some of the most common types include safety glasses. Safety glasses have safety frames and impact-resistant lenses. Never assume that your regular prescription glasses or sunglasses can provide adequate eye protection. Now, you can get safety glasses that fit right over your eyeglasses if you want, or you can purchase proper prescription safety glasses. Here I have goggles. Now, these completely cover the eyes and the socket area. So they provide additional protection against dust and splashes that safety glasses won't. Face shields. Face shields protect your entire face against nuisance dust, potential sprays, or splashes from hazardous liquids. But they don't provide adequate protection against impact hazards. So you need to use them in conjunction with goggles or safety glasses to provide protection against impact hazards. Oxy-fuel cutting goggles, like I have here. These protect your eyes from flying sparks, metal splatter, slag chips that are produced while you're gas welding or brazing, soldering, or oxy-fuel cutting operations. Now, they have filtered lenses inside that have a shade number between 1 and 14. You need to use the appropriate shade depending on the intensity of the harmful light radiation. Oxy-fuel cutting is not as harmful as electric arc welding, and you'll usually use about a number 5 lens on these. You see, you can also get tinted shields for your face shield. Welding helmets. These protect your eyes, face, and neck while performing electric welding operations. The infrared and ultraviolet rays produced when using electric welding process can seriously burn your eyes, also known as welding flash. WCB recommends a minimum distance of 12 meters between welding arc and your naked eye. The shade of lens that you use is also replaceable in these welding helmets. The level or shade depends on the amperage of the welding operation that you're performing. Less than 200 amps, which is pretty common for arc welding, recommend about a number 10 lens. But the sensitivity of your eyes may require a slightly different shade. And last, laser safety goggles. These protect against the light produced by lasers, such as laser levels. Hearing protection. Noise on the job site can affect you in different ways. Being exposed to high noise levels and moderate noise levels over a long period of time can cause permanent damage to your hearing. There's some important things to consider when choosing your hearing protection. Check that the protection rating is adequate. You can see the noise reduction rating is stamped on this box here. You should use a device that will reduce the noise exposure to a maximum of 85 decibels. Earplugs should be pliable, fit each ear tightly, and be kept clean and free from damage. Headphones or earbuds designed for listening to music don't offer suitable protection. Choose a type or style of protection suitable for the job you're doing. So let's look at some of the more popular options. These are single-use earplugs or DeciDamps. Now these earplugs are made from expandable material. Because they're disposable though, this can create a litter problem. I've worked on some pulp mills where these are not even allowed, as the washdown water is recovered and they can potentially end up in the process and contaminate the finished product. Pre-molded earplugs. They're made from silicone, plastic, or rubber. Their advantages are they are relatively inexpensive, reusable, washable, convenient to carry, and they come in a variety of sizes. And they usually include a string tether. These are canal caps. Now they resemble earplugs, but they're on a flexible plastic or metal band. Now these are convenient because they can be easily removed and replaced as you're working. Check the decibel rating though. For example, these ones only have a decibel rating of 17 as far as noise reduction goes, as opposed to these DeciDamps that have a noise reduction rating of 32. Here I have custom fitted earplugs. Now these are made from impressions taken of your ear. Some of these custom fitted designs let you hear conversations in noisy environments. Also, others can have a communication speaker installed into them. Here I have earmuffs. Earmuffs come in many models designed to fit most people. Some styles can be connected to a hard hat. They work by blocking out noise completely, covering the outer ear. Earmuffs make it easier to hear certain signals in very noisy environments. Respiratory equipment. You need to be aware of airborne hazards present in the job and take the necessary precautions to protect yourself. All respirators must be properly fitted to your face or they're useless. There are three types of respirators commonly used for various atmospheres in the workplace. These are airline or supplied air respirators, self-contained breathing apparatus, or air purifying respirators. Now, airline respirators and self-contained breathing apparatus are used where there's not enough oxygen or there's toxic gases or fumes in the air. Not a normal everyday work environment for most work sites. but you may be required to become trained with the use of these for emergency situations. Two common types of air purifying respirators are dust or mist masks and cartridge respirators. Now, these types of respirators cannot be used in oxygen deficient environments. Dust masks simply fit over the mouth and nose with an adjustable band around the nose area. Now, these generally offer protection against nuisance dusts and fine mists only. Some models like this one have a built-in exhaust valve, which allows for smoother exhaust without breaking the seal. Now, cartridge respirators are better for conditions where there are low concentrations of smoke, organic gases, pesticides, or paint vapors. There are specific cartridges for different hazards. Make sure you read the instructions and perform a proper fit test when you're selecting one of these. Hand protection, gloves. They're made of many different materials to meet the wide range of needs on the job site. Leather or vinyl coated are options. Here are a couple of what are called gauntlet type welder's gloves to be used when welding or flame cutting. You can see there's a different thickness depending on the intensity of the heat for different welding operations. Rubber or approved plastic treated gloves can be used when handling acids or cleaning solutions. Foot protection. Potential hazards to your feet can include heavy objects falling on them, stepping on sharp objects, or having hot sparks or slag fall inside your shoes. For construction, you're required to wear footwear with the CSA green triangle symbol. This indicates they have sole puncture protection as well as a grade 1 protective toe cap, as all of these have. Now, because the hazards and conditions vary from one task to another, it's important that you wear safety footwear appropriate to the job that you're doing. Some considerations are spark and slag. Leather works best for that. Water resistance, chemical resistant soles. The terrain can affect the tread that you choose. If you have work where there's a possibility of accidental contact with live conductors, there are boots with electric shock protection indicated by the omega symbol. Well, that's it for now. There are certainly many other specialized protective equipment and clothing that we haven't covered in this video, such as fall protection equipment, high visibility clothing, just to name a few. But we'll look at those as we discuss more specific job hazards.